This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the president and CEO of Westhaven Gold, Mr. Gareth Thomas. Gareth, how are you this morning?
I'm well, thanks, Gerardo. How about yourself?
I am well. I'm glad to be on the phone with you. You had some news on the 7th of July. Let me read the headline. It's an important release because I sense that there's going to be an increased focus, and you reference it in the release with the additional drill rig, but on really getting to the heart of these multiple systems. So the news release headline reads, Westhaven hits high-grade gold at multiple zones at Shovel Nose. Drills 76.33 meters of 2.93 grams per ton gold at the South Zone and 4.18 meters of 5.26 grams per ton gold at the FMN zone. Solid numbers. We talked a bit off air. The South Zone numbers continue to hit, and the FMN zone numbers are decent, are good. But again, it sounds to me like you're really wanting to get that other rig on there to go test the multiple targets there.
Yeah, no, that the South Zone, as you mentioned, where the more intercepts we have there, the better. It continues to show the continuity and the what we want to see as we gear up for our maiden resource here. So it's they're good, and some numbers are surprising us there too. So that's all good. But FMN, as mentioned off air, there is something we're excited about, and that it's still a relatively new discovery. We made that late last year. I think it was our last press release of the year, intercepting hole. I believe it was 138, 2138, where we intercept similar numbers to what this hole we just announced, 167. Then the release before this, we hit the 16 meters of 9 grams there, about 100 meters away. So we're starting to see some continuity in this vein system. It's still vein zone 1, but as you know, along this trend, 4 kilometers, we're not going to hit zones of high grade nature the whole area of it. So it's nice to see. It seems like we got a nice little pocket here, and we're talking to Peter. I'm up in Merritt now, and he's excited about it, being that it's kind of like where we were at the start of South Zone drilling. In fact, we didn't have these types of grades, but you're seeing stuff, and for Peter, it's getting a few holes on it to really get a handle on the geometry, the elevation. So it's been he's excited about what we're seeing, and even in our current drill hole, what we're seeing in there is giving us good ideas of what's happening there. So yeah, the kind of message is drill and drill. So that's and the addition of the third rig, we're actually taking that up to another target called the Romeo, which is about 4 kilometers to the east of the South Zone. So quite a ways out, but a prominent soil geochemistry anomaly that happens to occur over a 1.5 kilometer long hydrothermal breccia outcrop. And we also have some really good mag signatures and some DC resistivity anomalies there too. So we're on our first hole there, and totally new area. And that's kind of the idea, is to step out of the South Zone here and find more South Zones.
You mentioned, Peter, and the news release references the elevation range and getting a better handle on targeting the elevation range of the best mineralization. What have you learned that maybe surprised you, or that maybe makes you feel more confident about future drilling? Because again, I know you, I know of Peter well, pretty conservative. So when I hear in the release that the team is getting a better handle on targeting that seems important to me.
Yes, yeah, no, excellent point and excellent question. And we hit on 161, sorry, going back to that hole where we drilled the 60 meters of 9 grams. Then we stepped out another 100 meters and hit 162, which was not much for grade, some anomalous gold, but nothing. So hitting 167 was another hole on that same section, but it was targeting this more preferred elevation. And that's also going back a few calls now, Gerardo, where we talked about this kink.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still trying to, these things can be tricky at times, but we think even with our current hole that we're still in, that we're getting a better handle on. It may take a few more holes here, but we're also mentioned the fourth vein zone. It's in our map on that news release. And that's important because though we're seeing it quite deep, 500 meters, but this is what happened on the south zone. We drilled one hole down to 626 meters. Weren't not seeing anything in terms of mineralization, but what Peter figured out there is that there was something above that. So in still increasing this hole or going to depth here, we're seeing this fourth vein zone, which is probably not in the preferred elevation, but that's something we're keeping our eye on as well. So there's, like I said, it sort of sounds like a broken record, but it's drill, and before you know it, we're going to have another bonanza grade intercept. That's our belief here, and hopefully it's on FMN. It might be on Romeo. It might be on a few of these other outlying targets. So that's resource out Q4 this year. That's coming along real nice. Then, but our big message here is we're still a drill bit story, exploration. So that's what we're working on, trying to find more of these south zones.
Well, your timing might be really excellent for the resource estimate and new discoveries, just for the simple fact that gold seems to be really firming up, as well as silver. And I suspect that it's going to close the year in a really strong manner. Great update, Gareth. Anything else to add to that?
Oh, and I like to hear your enthusiasm on the gold and silver, and I try and keep my mouth relatively shut on the more macro items. Of course, I pay attention to them. I know most people do, but it's nice to hear that, and I feel the same way. So yeah, you're right. Just we're lots of news flow on the horizon, and we're going to keep at it here. So stay tuned.
Excellent, Gareth. Thanks again for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Gerardo.
All right, chat soon.
Okay, take care.